and the 1 and the 2 and the 3.
Ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba ba.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Snazzmaster. I am one of your hosts, Jasper Narwhal, and to my side here is a man who doesn't understand how trumpets work. It's beothealea.
True, I never got around to learning the trumpet.
Well, I think it's about blowing and pressing buttons. So, another day, another episode. Would you believe it?
No, not really.
No,
But here we
me
are.
neither, to be honest. Today it's episode 3 of season 1. The Poet and the Egg. Period. Because there's a period in the name. Officially. Officially.
Very official.
Very officially. And I will just say, Beo, before we even begin today, I would like to make a public apology.
Oh,
Because, see, I made an observation while looking at the first 2 episodes.
oh no.
I'm very negative. Very negative, like, oh, you're doing like shit, and ooh, you're doing poopy, and all kinds of negative things, you know? But I mean, if you love something, you should be willing to criticize it, right?
True, that is true.
Even though I did call Rasheen kinda shit.
To be fair, I do have some notes against Rashim this time too that are kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she got 7 points in the episode. I called her shit. And she's getting 9 points this episode. That's incredibly poor. So I'm almost sorry. I'm sorry-ish, you know? So yes. Yeah. But, oh, you want to say something? You look very attentive.
I feel like we should get straight into the collateral task.
Actually, no. Because
No.
I would like to start off with the introductions of this show.
Oh, even the specific introductions of the guests. What do you have on that?
I do actually, as Greg so pointedly say. Well, at the time you're watching this, Frank Skinner will at some point have gotten his MBE, his Member of the British Empire, which is basically almost knighthood, right? Now, he has yet to actually get his MBE, but he got his OBE, which is a step below, you know?
Okay, I was about to go like, what's that?
That's Order of the British Empire. Then you become a member of the British Empire, and then I think you become a knight of the British Empire. It's a whole thing.
Wow, why is membership above order? Shouldn't it be
I
the
don't
other
know,
way
because
around?
you're also a member of the Order, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
And
feel like the ordering of these titles is wrong.
well, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with the British and their system, but by the time you're listening to this, maybe he will have gotten an MBE. We don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? And the other one was Rasheen has 40,000 unread emails in her inbox, and I can believe that. And I will go as far as actually, I would say, prove it. But right now, in my main email inbox, I have 22,061 unread emails.
Holy shit.
I should probably do
Damn.
something about that.
And I thought I was being bad when I prune it every 1,000 emails or so.
Yeah, but that's life. On the bright side, though, I have 0 Discord notifications.
Nice.
I see a lot of people with like 99 of them.
Sweats.
Yeah, that's you.
Yes.
And for the benefit of the future and the listener, I was calling Bayo for 90 minutes before we recorded this, before he reacted.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that's
proving
true.
you can't trust people.
No.
It
No.
be your own beast sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was what I had on the intro.
Yep,
So,
I got nothing on that.
well, would you
But
like to
still.
move on with the collateral then? You sound very...
Yeah. Let's be with the collateral. I do like the category they chose for today, the most meaningful collateral. That's a good
meaningful one, because
category.
that can be read in a lot of ways.
It could. And to be honest, I feel like only 2 of the 5 of them read it at all correctly.
Yeah, I see that. Well, I would just actually say everyone but Rasheen got it right, though, to be honest.
A dictionary?
A
I mean, come
fucking
on,
dictionary.
really?
Like, come on, girl.
Come on.
Come on. This isn't a philosophy show. You're not the poet. One of those other two guys are, not you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say The Piston, it's a nice story, but it falls into the same category as one of the football stuff from the first 2 episodes, you know?
I
It's
see,
nice, but
yeah.
you can't prove it, you know?
Exactly.
Eh,
And to that point, I feel like only Frank and Ramesh brought in meaningful stuff.
yeah.
Really.
A wedding ring, that's of course, that's a no-brainer, right? But a child's hobby horse, I like that. It's something Ramesh would do. I mean, steal something from his children and put it up as collateral.
Which is why I'm surprised it wasn't Ramesh who did it in the first place.
That is true. That is very true. I will also say Josh put up a valiant effort. His father's self-published book.
Very valiant.
I would say, you know, that has some kind of what we call a sentimental value. And I will also say, and this is because I've actually seriously considered it, buying the book because it's only £1 on Amazon.
Damn, that's cheap.
Yes, and I just want to say, because I had a strained relationship with my dad, who's now no longer with us.
Oh.
So I can definitely say, you have one little thing from your dad that you keep remembering, right? I mean, not that Josh's dad, Tom Whitaker, is dead, but he might as well be since you're not talking to each other. I'm just saying maybe he has some kind of meaningful attachment to the book. And that's why I get it as, you know, I get it as a collateral. But on a personal level, not on a comedy level.
True. It's not too comedic.
It isn't too
in
comedic.
hindsight.
But then I actually went and I looked up Tom Whitaker, Josh's dad, who is not acknowledging that Josh is his son, by the way. And then you're kind of like, I almost get it. Almost. Because the man looks like a crossover between a socialist and Santa Claus. Because I think that's what he is, a socialist Santa Claus.
Okay.
Just trust me in this one, okay? Man wears a rainbow shirt and he makes tools for a living. And his beard is, I think it's a foot long, basically.
Max length.
It's a good length beard.
Dumped all their points into a beard.
Yes. And I just think he could be a very cantankerous man. And in my experience, cantankerous men... Cantankerous? Eccentric old men.
Know.
Eccentric men have eccentric sons, okay? That's my opinion, and that's... I don't know, I just had some kind of personal attachment to George's collateral this time. Which is weird, I know. It's still only 2 points worth, but... I was thinking maybe one day we could buy the book. It's only £1, and we could read excerpts from it, because... I mean, with a title like I Blame the Beatles, you know, could be pretty fun.
True. I also blame the Beatles, those hard-shelled bastards.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, man. You have the same hair as a Beatle.
Okay, fair.
Just for the record, we're talking the Beatles with the A, not with 2 E's, Beo. You do recognize the difference?
Oh, I thought you meant the other insects.
No. These are British people, which are also insects in their own kind, in a way, but...
Oh!
It's okay, they're used to the humiliation. They're British, after all. To summarize, Ramesh gets 5, Frank 4, and Tim gets a piston. And then just 2, Racine 1. And that kind of sets the tone for the show. Insofar that we never see, Ramesh do anything useful again. And that is a segue to the next task where Ramesh fucks up.
Oh yeah. I do love the tea task.
Yes, task number 1: throw a tea bag into a mug from the furthest distance in 1 hour.
It's just so pure because
It's
it's
very
like
pure.
very like general, repeatable, and it's like instant. It's like here you go, timers go, panic.
Yeah, and just for the record, this is a classic task that has been repeated in several other versions of the show internationally.
Oh, pretty
Yeah,
good.
they keep reusing it. Even in Denmark, where we don't really have an opinion on tea bags.
Did they
Which,
ever like switch out for like other kind of bags?
no,
Like,
I don't really. Why would you throw another kind of bag in a container, you know?
well, for those Americans out there, maybe an instant coffee bag. I don't know.
Why would you put coffee in a bag? Instant
If it's
coffee in a
instant,
bag.
I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know.
I mean, it probably is a thing, but ew. Um,
They're Americans. What do you expect from them?
uh, you're American. Shut up.
Am I?
Yes,
Anyways.
Bale. Stop hiding your fact. I literally heard honking outside of your door when you were preparing for this. That is a very
Mm-hmm.
American thing. Who just honks in randomly?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Fair.
in any case, tea bags of tea. Um, because none of us are British, it's not exactly obvious to us that you should wet the bag.
Oh, that was like, no, that I did think of that. It was great when they showed like how Frank and Rasheen immediately went, yeah, wet the bags, and Josh too.
Yeah, but yes, obviously, it's just I never thought. I just haven't thought that a wet bag flies better than a dry bag. I mean, I don't get. I don't
Mm,
get this. I don't get the thought process. I mean, I get that it works.
hmm Well, the thought process is simple. Like a light object gets buffered by the wind more easily than a heavy object, so you make it heavier so it's more
Ah,
resistant to the
I
wind.
thought it was because if you wet it, it became more of a solid object.
Similar kind of thing. Yeah, it's more about its weight in the situation.
Eh, interesting.
hmm
Um, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna talk about Tim Key for a second.
Tim had a good idea.
Tim was very on point here. Immediately turned to engineering.
hmm
Approach this intelligently instead of just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks.
hmm
And I was about to say, you know what? Tim really shows the value of a good education. So I went and I looked up what he studied at university. Russian.
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 They're a literature major.
Yes.
Interesting.
A Russian. He studied Russian. So I can't even say, oh, that's the benefits of a classical education.
Oh, maybe we can go one further. Where do they study Russian?
I believe it was Sheffield University.
Sheffield University. I'll see if I
Which
can get you
is
an answer on that.
it's not a very classical school. Yeah, University of Sheffield,
Let's see.
which is not exactly. When I think of a prestigious school, I don't think the University of Sheffield.
Mm, doesn't have to
Or
be prestigious. You'll be surprised about how wildly variant schools can be. Where prestige is separate from roundedness in a university, you know? There are some universities, regardless of prestige, that are like hyper focused, where it's like you got your one thing and nothing else, and there's other
yeah,
universities where, regardless of prestige, it's well rounded. It's like, yeah, this is the thing you're doing, but fuck you, you're also gonna do this other thing too, by the way.
I would agree if it wasn't for the fact that this was Britain, and people who have gone to Oxford or Cambridge like to make the joke that they've gone to one of the only two universities in the country.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Oof.
they're snobs, but you get the point. It's just University of Sheffield is not exactly what I
It's not
think about.
prestigious.
I also
Yeah.
don't think, Russian is exactly relevant, but I looked it up, I wrote it down, okay?
hmm hmm
But still, funnel system, dig a hole, guide the ball in, even have a throwing ball mechanism.
Exactly.
It's
All the
very,
steps.
it is very clever, very on point.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't write down the distance. Sorry. I think it was
Oh,
22
it
meters.
kind of didn't matter because it was like it blew the other people out of the water completely.
No, I
So
think it was 22 meters, and Frank got like 15. I want to say. But we'll get to
true.
Frank now, I think, because
Yeah, that's a good
the
segue to
other thing.
Frank's
Well, yes, let's talk about boxes.
and the boxes.
The
Yes.
boxes. Ramesh contends that there was, in fact, not a box for him. A
Which
major sticking
yeah,
point this episode.
it is, and which is surprising. Oh no, wait! I see the box. I'm scrolling through, and I see in Rashim's clip the little shed in the back.
Yeah?
That's where the box comes from.
I mean, surely there was a box for Ramesh.
Surely there was.
Surely he's just being a sore, I wouldn't even say loser because he got 3 points, but
A sore middler, you know,
well, I
sore
mean,
mid.
a man who spends 45 minutes throwing dry tea bags at a group of mucks and missing,
And then, and then realizing, wait, I should wet this.
come on, Ramesh, you should know better.
Mhm.
You know? Fun fact, he is a teacher, right? He was a teacher. And when I think teachers, I always think people with mugs.
Mm-hmm.
People who
And
drink a
more
lot of
with
stuff from
the
mugs. Yeah.
creative craft skills that are required for this task and another task later.
No, he's a math
Really-
teacher.
Oh, that's a good. But wait, what grade?
Yeah, I'm just saying though, surely he has made tea before at work. I
Surely,
mean, for fuck's
surely.
sake, he's a British man. Surely he has made tea before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And despite that, he beat Rasheen, who threw it from a ladder.
Yeah, it just. I mean, Rasheen had a good idea. It's like, wait, you didn't count vertical
Exactly.
distance.
And I read an anecdote about that, something that Alex Warren said at some point. Every season, people will ask if they can go on the roof, and the insurance company says no.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. Because I believe in the Danish version, and I didn't watch the Danish version beforehand, because I'm pretty sure we had this task in the Danish version. Someone went on the roof there
Mm.
and hit
Yeah.
the mug from, I think it was first floor or something.
Third floor. Well, they have a bigger building in the Danish version too.
Well, I mean, sidebar, right? Sidebar. The British version is usually recorded in a leafy but modest suburb of Denmark. Oh, sorry, of London. The Danish version is usually recorded in a villa, in a high-end villa.
Oh wow, that is a huge difference between the two.
It is actually quite a yeah. I mean, they moved houses, but it's still a relatively large house.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe the first house they used and the one used for the tea task in the Danish one, that's like that is in the rich neighborhoods. Hey, that's the kind of thing that probably cost, I don't know, $2 million at least.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to climb on that roof.
Maybe they gotta have better insurance, probably.
Probably does. But I mean, yeah, Rasheen had the right idea. She just didn't have.
Nah, they just didn't carry it one step further,
Yeah.
where they should have thrown it up and then caught it in the mug and counted the distance both up and down.
Yes, I know where you're going with this, but that's for the egg task.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're thinking, and we'll get to that later in the show. She has a point. Now,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of points, would you like to discuss what a mug is?
Yes, Josh's whole approach of a mug.
So let me just get some facts straight here. Opinions straight, right? I agree. If you glue a handle to a wheelbarrow, it's a mug. You can drink out of it. He brewed tea. He drank out of it. It has a handle. It's a mug.
I would give it the creativity to let it score, but still penalize it by 1 point in the end, just for like, technically no, but good creativity. You get to count for that.
Yes, and yeah, and again, this is the one where it sucks not to be British. But
Hmm.
he put in milk first, which is
Yeah,
apparently a hate crime.
it is, and I agree with his disqualification for that
And
part.
so
I
do I,
agree with
even
that.
though I don't drink tea.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm approaching this from the cereal angle. Like, I would never put in milk before cereal.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it just seems wrong and weird and ew.
Hmm. True.
Even if I agree it's a mug and it's a cup of tea, don't put in milk first.
Hmm. Exactly.
But, the principle of it. The principle is correct. And how long did he throw? I think he would have gotten 3 points. I don't actually remember. I should have written this down.
I shall endeavor to write these down in the future and try to remember that.
Yes, I'm trying to talk about points for once because we forgot about that in the first two episodes.
We were gonna forget about it in these two. Oh well,
Oh
we'll pick
well.
up eventually. Progress. Anyways.
Progress. We agree it was a correct disqualification, but we also agree it's a mug, right?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just for the record, how would you have done this?
To be honest, I think I would immediately gone with Tim. I was like, okay, I need to make a funnel and I need to make something to throw the thing as far as possible.
Yeah, I would have gone with Rasheen's idea. Height.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know if you can rent a crane in an hour, but.
True, it was only an hour. But I also, this is going to come up more and more as the series go on. I really question how long the starts now happens. Because
Oh
there's
yeah, yeah,
so many
definitely.
other tasks where they go start now, but they have a recording of the person sitting there calmly going like, here's my list of things I need you to get for me
Well, I mean,
in this short time. I'm like, what? How do they
yeah,
do that?
I maybe just roll with it. It's a TV show. Just roll with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're not supposed to treat this like a serious competition, hopefully.
Hmm. Hmm.
But, you know, I'm not saying they should be more strict on it because obviously, with more flexibility, we get more creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But still, Tim gets 5, Frank gets 4, Ramesh gets an aneurysm and also 3 points. Rasheen gets
Hmm.
2 and just disqualified. Very
Hmm.
rude, but also very right.
Yes, very right. Exactly.
Now that we have agreed a lot on this task, would you like to move on to a task that I know we will disagree on?
Oh, how we disagree on the GPS drawing task.
Task number 2: use a GPS tracker to draw the best picture while walking around a field. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so we agreed on the last two episodes. Art tasks, no. But
Yeah,
this one I actually liked.
you like this one.
I
Interesting.
did because it's a unique twist.
Very unique twist. I'll give you that.
Using a GPS tracker where you struggle to see the art. I think that works. In a weird way. I mean, it's still not an amazing task, but
Mhm. I feel like actually they were because in the recording I noticed that Josh explicitly is looking at something in their hand
yeah, they
and
had the
says,
GPS tracker.
"Yeah," but explicitly says, "Come on, fill in the area," as though they could see what was being made in real time.
Well, you can if you have a GPS tracker. That's how they work.
But I mean, like they had one that was also showing them what they were drawing at the same time
Well, no. I think that was in his mind.
in their mind.
In his mind's eye, he was filling it in while I was drawing the
Hmm.
lines.
Hmm. Hmm. True. I still think down on this task more so because of the fact that like it's influenced by the weather, so it's hard to control for, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Tim got kind of fucked over by the rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
as TV tropes, it describes the art piece, a long drawing, a
Yeah, Tim
long,
just
just yeah, running around for an hour in the rain.
Yeah, Tim just loved it completely.
Well, I mean, not as much as Rasheen, but
True, true.
I just wanna. So she tried to draw a sausage, which she fucked up. So she morphed it into bacon, which she fucked up. Then into a pregnant woman, which that almost looked like. But then she decided to keep drawing and draw an angel, which she fucked up. And then,
Just doesn't know when to quit.
on the studio, she says, "Oh, it's actually tulips." Yeah,
Mhm.
it was bad. I mean, I still can't see what it was. But as Frank poignantly put it out, it looks like a golf inside of a golf bag. No, sorry, a duck inside of a golf bag.
Mhm. Mhm.
Which, and looking on it kind of did, actually.
Mhm.
And yeah, but it's still 1 point.
1 point indeed.
But I think everyone except for Josh and Ramesh fucked up, right?
Mhm.
Like Josh and Ramesh, who drew a flower and a self-portrait respectively, they had an idea and they carried it through.
And Ramesh really, really did the best out of it.
I mean, the Taskmaster disagrees, but I agree with you actually.
Mhm.
It
I
was
mean, come on.
it was very distinctly Ramesh. I agree.
Exactly. Like getting that amount of recognizability out of a GPS drawing. It's like, ooh,
But I
that's
mean,
yeah.
Ramesh is a very recognizable person.
True,
If Josh
true.
had to draw himself, it'd be shit.
Hmm. Hmm.
If Frank had to draw himself, we would probably die of boredom. I mean, he's a very boring looking man, but I mean, come on, he is Frank Skinner.
True.
He does look. I mean, I know he's not a dull man, but he looks stalled. You look at him and you go, "Wow, I should think about my retirement plans. Is my pension funds up to date?
Mhm.
Should we go on a caravan holiday this year?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's not a dig on him as a person. That's a dig on the way he dresses. I think very
You mean
dull.
in formal suits all the time?
Yes, he looks like a chartered accountant.
True. No, I can't get that image out of my head now.
Oh,
Oh
don't worry. He ruins it in the next episode by wearing a magenta shirt,
no. Okay, we're
which was
saved.
bloody hideous, by the way. And I'll get to that in the next episode.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
dresses a bit dull. Still like the guy though.
Mhm.
That's actually all I had on art. Oh, except for one line that Frank actually did. I love to talk about Frank. He has some great liners, right?
Mhm.
Where he out of the blue says, "It was meant to be a dig at the homeless."
How to dig into the homeless? I forgot that line.
It was a
Oh, that
brilliant line. I actually forgot context for it. That's the worst part.
yeah,
But even
that's
out,
getting stranger.
I mean, even out of context, it's brilliant. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it was Frank. It had to be Frank who said that. Why didn't I write that down?
Don't know.
I don't know. Oh, hang on. I'm looking at my notes here. I actually have a different thing I forgot to mention. We
Oh,
don't see
what's that?
we don't see Rasheen and Tim pop their balloons.
We don't.
We
Oh, interesting.
don't. Yeah, I was observing that. Like, did they technically finish their task? You know, just food for thought. Food for
For
thought.
thought. I leave it up for the cutting crew's mistake there.
Probably. You know, I don't know what to say about that. It's I'm sure they would have mentioned if they didn't pop it though.
True, exactly.
At least I
It'll
hope
be
so.
one of those like, but take a look at this.
That's
Unfortunately,
very
moments.
muggy. That's very muggy.
Hmm.
Oh yes, yes. Do you have anything else to remark on this thing?
No, not on this drawing task. No.
No. Well, then I propose a toast to Josh Flower, which gets 5 points.
Hmm.
I am drinking a White Canna Monster. How about you?
Currently a sour raspberry liquor.
Is it tasty?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good, good, excellent.
Hmm.
So that way I know what to buy you as Christmas present this year. That's a
What?
segue.
Oh, into the present task. Okay. I was
I'm
like,
very
where are
clever
we
like
going with
that.
this?
I'm very clever like that. Task number 3. Buy the best present for the Taskmaster using these 20 quid.
I feel like this one's just phoned in as a
And a lot
task.
of these tasks are, where it's like, hey, you have 10 weeks,
Hmm.
Even
I
so,
feel like I feel like if we did a complete ordering of all the tasks, I would put this one at the complete bottom. I feel like.
well, it's still better than the horse riding task. The horse
I
painting.
disagree. I
Really?
do believe the horse task is better than this one.
Yes, I would agree with you if the results were poor, but there were some pretty fun ones here, actually. Let's,
True.
let's take them from the bottom up, shall we?
Go ahead.
Tim, £16 worth of book tokens and a $4 card. No, £4 card.
Despicable.
Despicable.
At that point,
Rummish.
you might as well
Oh,
give the money back.
well, I mean, you could just give them the money. That would have been better, actually.
Hmm.
Rummish. A specially commissioned portrait of the Taskmaster and an angel with webbed feet. I
I
I would like to meet that artist who does that for 20 quid.
yeah, I also really want to know why the web feed happened. Like,
To make him all
obviously,
terrain.
make him alterate. But Ramesh didn't explicitly request for that. That must have come out and just be like, "It's 20 quid, bruh. I'm done."
20 quid, just take the web feet, mate. Artists
Mhm.
always have trouble, or at least in my experience, they always complain about, I can't draw hands, I can't draw hands. But and feet are basically hands, right?
Exactly, those
So if
wiggly
you can't draw
booties.
hands or you can't draw feet, why don't you just draw shoes? You know, instead of drawing him with webbed feet, it had to be a conscious choice.
I mean, it is an angel. They don't wear shoes,
Why not?
because they're posh like that.
Well, that's a better explanation. That's a better explanation than I expected, to be honest.
Yo.
I just like, I can't argue with that. They're posh. Okay, sure, I'll go for that.
Hmm.
Frank, and this is where I think we're getting good, right? Sunglasses with rear view mirrors.
Hmm.
Oh, come on, that's kind of funny, cool, useful even.
Very useful. The
And
lengths that mortals have to go to mimic even a fraction of my observation powers
just for the
using
record,
mirrors.
Beo is a bee who has really funky eyes.
Very funky.
And
360 vision, baby.
he would never be caught wearing sunglasses.
No.
Yeah, where would you input them? That's my question. But
It'll have to be a band at this point to go all the way around my head. But
yeah,
anyways, that's a weird
besides the
question. Let's
point. Let's just move on to
besides the point.
Rasheen. Let's just move on to Rasheen.
Hmm.
Because this is where it gets good, I think, right? A mouse.
Hmm.
I don't.
I I
Giving a
feel like
living animal as, a present on a TV show, I feel that's a baller move.
very baller, but I feel like also the context of why they know this is a little bit. Oh, sorry, is a little bit of a cheat because they know Greg enough to
Yeah,
had these drunk conversations with
they
them.
have had a lot of drunk conversations together,
Hmm.
but I'm not gonna hold that against her. Especially since he always also gives some scratchers.
Hmm.
And honestly, if you gave me a sweat card as a present, I would be happy.
Yep,
I mean,
I
thinking
agree.
about it, just hey, I'm giving you a chance to be rich.
Hmm.
Again, speaking of my late dad, he once gave me a scratcher as a present.
Oh,
I think I won a little bit of money.
Oh, cool.
Well, I mean, I was 11, so it's a lot of money in that case, but
Mm-hmm.
any money is a lot when you're 11.
True. Barely
True.
so.
Yeah. This, I don't know how to segue into just one. Um,
I I don't either.
I don't either, so let's just go with it. Getting the name Greg tattooed on your feet is, well, you can't really argue with that. That should be more than 5 points.
Exactly. A powerful, bold, instant winning move.
I mean, you can't argue with that. The man defaces himself, and then,
Well, defoots. But anyways.
well, technically it's still called defacing, even if it's not a face. A building can be defaced.
Hmm?
The English language.
But that is the face of the building.
Yes, but technically the foot also has a face in that it's skin and shut up. One point is he puts his foot into Greg's hands and gets some of Greg's saliva on his feet, okay? A
True,
very
that...
a very erotic image.
Wait, what? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
I
Hold
mean,
on, Gaylord.
just think about it. Greg licks his thumb and rubs his thumb on his feet. Therefore getting a little bit of Greg juice on the feet.
And you consider this erotic.
I'm sure someone considers it erotic.
Do you consider it erotic? I'm
No,
suspicious of you now.
you should be suspicious of me, and to prove a point, I'm gonna go in on archive of our own to find out if someone has, made Greg Davis and Jess Whitcomb fiction. As the beloved, as Alex Horn once said, there is a lot of Taskmaster smut fiction on the internet.
Oh, this is cursed knowledge.
This is very
want.
cursed because we know they have read it. Honest to God, they have read it. I mean, not on air, but they have read it off screen.
I feel like everyone who has ever had things written about them in that nature reads their own stuff because it's like it becomes more of a curiosity once you're aware that it exists.
Yes, and yet here we are, and you know what? Instead of looking, I should just not look. Because there are 84 tags with Rod Gilbert, who is, in my opinion, the least sexiest man in history. He looks and sounds Welsh, and that's not very...
Oh, oh, that's really, really broad strokes right there.
Well, if you ever met the Welsh, You know what? I'm gonna close that browser. Sorry, I was suddenly just looking at Greg X Alex fiction, and it's like, my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just move on to a new task, shall we? Before it gets worse. Before the mind rut sets in. Sorry, what?
I feel like we skipped both Ramesh and Frank in this.
No, we didn't. We just spent a lot of time discussing who would draw web feed.
Oh yeah, the web feed. What was Frank's again then?
Sunglasses with rearview mirrors.
Right. Okay.
But how are you supposed to talk a lot about, sunglasses?
True. Anyways, yes.
Let's move on before the homoeroticism has time to sit in.
Well, actually, before we move on, what would you have done for this task? Because I personally would have gambled the money, and if I won, I would bring back the winnings and be like, here, I turned your 20 into this much.
I would probably have gotten some kind of really useless tat, like, a snow globe or a bobblehead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something really inoffensive and dull,
True.
Because what the fuck do you buy for Greg Davis?
Well, if you could get a Greg Davis bobblehead, you would probably have also won that task.
I don't think that existed back in 2015. Maybe it exists now. To Google.
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, there are some AI renders of attempts of making a Greg Davies Funko Pop. Which really begs the question, why would you make AI out of that?
Yeah,
Why?
actually,
Yeah, I don't know.
why Funkos?
Everyone loves a Funko Pop. Also, if you go on Etsy, you can get a Taskmaster trophy replica.
See, there we go.
There we go. Consumer advice, ladies and gentlemen.
Just
It
time travel
comes.
to the future, get the replica, bring it back, and be like, "Here, Greg Davis, I got you a bust of your head."
It is very uncanny. It's very creepy, but it's definitely Greg Davis. It's $200 for a full size one.
Cool.
Well, I mean, it's 44 centimeters and all that.
Hmm.
Just putting
Yeah,
that
it is
out
pretty
there.
large. That is pretty large.
Well, I mean, it has to be large. Greg Davis is a large man. It's a large man.
True. We're not talking about just their ego. They are actually tall,
He
like
is
real
actually
tall.
very tall. Man could have
Gigantic.
gone into basketball, but he chose to get into our heads.
Mm-hmm.
Can we move on now, or are you addicted to gambling again?
Nah, we're good now. I got my
Just
answers.
checking that you wouldn't go on and gamble 20 quid as we're recording this. Because that sounds like something you would do.
True. I can't fault you for that assumption. True.
No, I figured that much. I'm just gonna segue now. Task number 4. I mean, that's not even a segue, that's just me screwing it up. Using let's try that again. Task number 4. Using the items provided, get the egg as high as possible, parentheses, without breaking it. Again, this is one that's been done in other versions too. And before we get on with the results, how would you do it?
To be honest, I felt like I would do the lazy thing of just like stacking them all together and put the egg on top, get that measurement, and then try to paper mache something together, but run out of time in the end.
You see, I know what you want to do with paper mache. I had a better idea actually, right?
Well,
Because this is not exactly thin paper to deal with. This is more like thin. What's the English word for it? Is that cardboard? It's thick paper. Craft paper, I think it is.
yeah, craft paper. There we
Yeah.
go. That's good.
I would fold this paper together to form like a hard thing, right? And then build a card house out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind the fact that I'm shit at building card houses.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they had an hour or something, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you build, you probably have time to build a small card house of folded together craft paper. Just putting that out there.
I wonder, actually getting into the technicalities thing. It says using these materials get as high as possible, but it's just making like a paper basket and then carrying that paper basket to a high location valid enough.
Oh, that's a good question actually, because the task it only says the items provided. And for this we can infer that it's the stuff on the table, right? And I believe when Ramesh was doing it, we were counting from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
by
were.
that logic, if we just, carried it up. And again, Rasheen is having that thought actually, isn't she? Because she's like, what is the longest part of the house? Wait, was that the T task?
That was the
That
T-test
was the
for the
T task.
longest part.
But same concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the record, one thing I know won't work, because I think this was in Danish version as well. I believe someone made a paper parachute in the Danish version.
Oh, they tried to go that way?
It didn't work.
No. Exactly.
Ow, I just punched the table. Oops. So let's just skip on with the part where a lot of people get screwed over.
So many broken eggs.
3 broken eggs, Frank, Regine, and Tim.
Hmm.
And there was a debate during the show, and let's just get it on with. Is boiling an egg allowed?
I feel I feel like I would allow it because I don't find it materially different because if it cracks, and that's enough to be like, nah, it cracked, bruh.
But at the same time, it's not in the laboratory, it's not on the table, He walks into the kitchen. Frank walks to the kitchen and cooks it.
No, sorry, that was Tim who cooked it.
Sorry, Tim. What did Frank do? No, Frank just dropped it. Right. No, he didn't.
No, Frank
Machine
tried
drops it.
to.
Tim cooks it, and what does Frank do?
Frank tries to give it a paper padding and throw it in the air.
Oh, right, and he gets sad. Sorry, yes, there we go, there we go. My memory's hazy. Everything is hazy.
So hazy.
But my observation is also, I mean, yes, Tim boils it a lot, right? But he doesn't hard boil it. Would the egg have survived if he had hard boiled it?
I would still say no because the crack would form and I'll be like, that's a crack, bruh. Over. Don't care.
Yeah, and let's just immediately, since we were talking about egg physics,
Hmm.
about Josh. Let's talk about Josh's luck.
So.
How do you throw an egg into the air and it lands and it doesn't break? I don't get that.
I mean, it's what it's designed for.
Yeah, I know that's what Alex says, Oh, I mean, it's designed to be dropped on grass without breaking. Yeah, but a chicken doesn't drop an egg from 10 feet up.
True.
I hope not, at least.
But I feel like
I'm gonna
de-evolving
Google
that
chicken
trait
coop.
would take too long.
I mean, surely a chicken. How high does a chicken lay its eggs? That's how long.
No bird lays their eggs with the intention of dropping it.
Well, I mean, obviously.
It's just more the fact like birds had to evolve the trait of the eggs falling from the nest in the first place to survive. And I feel like that trait de-evolving, it will take a lot of random chance to just de-evolve out of existence,
Yeah, but still, that was quite a drop.
Mm-hmm. And then the mad lad just
Throws
does it again.
Why? Why?
Couldn't just take their W. I mean, it didn't break up the second time either.
I mean, you wonder how Josh wins the show sometimes, but
yeah.
yeah. Just fucking, chuck it, YOLO.
YOLO.
Oh, I have no clue how he survived that.
And then Ramesh gets second by just being like, I give up. I'll just put it on the stack and be done.
You know what? Sometimes laziness is a virtue.
Mm-hmm. And I looked up the answer to my question earlier, and you're right. Ramesh taught in a school that was for 11 to 18 years old, so they're around like middle to high school range of teaching. So they wouldn't have been involved in like, the early math where you get to do the creative stuff. No.
No, but he would still have drunk from a mug, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I know you're not gambling. You're Googling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, I think Frank's idea was good. I think it should have worked. Mother Nature disagrees. That heartless bitch.
I gotta double check. Is it because Frank explicitly caught it that it failed?
I don't think so.
Let me go double check that now.
Go ahead and double check it. Detective Bayo is on the case. Apparently. So while you do that, I'm just gonna keep time running here,
Yep.
I don't even think it would have mattered if he'd repped it more. Maybe if Frank had dropped... But I mean, he was outside with the egg.
Yeah. No, Frank did explicitly have it hit his hands, and I think that's what did it in.
I don't. I no. I mean, yes, but I don't think that could not have been the issue. Surely not.
I don't know. Like, so grass, like a field of grass, is enough of an object to have like the compression zone versus their hand doesn't have a compression zone, you
No,
know?
but the hand has its own suspension. Like you're not throwing your hand up to catch a thing. Like you're moving your hand down along with the catch. And also, I'm holding my hands in front of my camera. Sorry. Like when you're catching something, you're moving your hand down to like follow the trajectory.
Oh, that's if you do it correctly, but
Let
no
me
one's gonna
guess.
predict that
Frank didn't
correctly
do it
enough.
correctly.
Yeah.
Oh well, is what I say. I mean, I'm not saying. I don't know what I'm saying actually. I'm just saying the gods favored Josh that day,
Mm-hmm. Indeed, indeed.
and well, I don't know. It's just I'm just reading my notes right now. For some reason, I have something about. Oh right, yes, Tim. I just want to point out he was screaming in pain because he was holding a boiling egg.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
That's
don't know why.
dedication.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. But it reminds me of something from what is that TV show called suddenly? What is that TV show with the cooks called? Master Chef, right?
That's one of them, yeah.
The Danish version of Master Chef had a kid. No, not a kid. A young man, 18 years old. He had like 4 seconds left to arrange something on a plate. The mad lad literally just puts his hand into a hot, a hot pot of water and just grabs it with his bare hands.
Oh.
That's dedication.
Dedication, yes. Sandy, no.
Just, God damn it, man. Are you trying to kill yourself? I mean, knowing chefs, they probably are trying to kill themselves, but I drank.
I still don't know what one could do with those pens they were given, though.
No clue. No clue. There were scissors as well, but
hmm
I mean, that's probably for cutting.
I mean, at least the simplest thing you can do is take two the sheets of paper, cut half slits into each of them,
You
and
know what?
cross them to make a
I'm glad
cross.
you mentioned that because I was thinking the same actually.
Yeah.
You definitely could. And if you had enough sheets of paper, it would be kind of stiff as well.
I mean, that's a whole ream. You could probably go a long way with that ream.
You probably could. But no one did that, and as such, Josh gets 4, no 5, Ramesh gets 4.
Mhm.
Which puts Ramesh in a very interesting situation that despite having done nothing for the whole episode, except for the winning ring, he's somehow second.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads us to the segue of the live task.
Yeah, the live task.
You know how I started this episode by saying, oh, I'm too negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be negative now.
You saved it all up. You have to release it.
Now I'm just sad and disappointed. If you're doing these tasks for the benefit of studio audience,
Mm-hmm.
why in the blithering hell do you choose a task about sitting perfectly still?
I know, right?
They just sat perfectly still for a whole episode. Oh, just sit still for 100 seconds and then stand up. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
task. I mean, it could have been interesting if they'd added something, other than banter.
I know, right?
And here's why I have a suggestion. Add a mariachi band. La
I
Cucaracha
mean,
is a solution to every problem I have.
just have them be the mariachi band at that point.
Oh, that's a good one. Just give everyone a guitar and a trumpet and just go, let's play La Cucaracha.
Mhm.
As Bear falls over in his chair. Yeah, I don't think I didn't see that, buddy.
Yep.
But seriously, just sit still for 100 seconds. It's not a task.
No.
It's not a task. And even so, Rasheen screws it up.
They
But,
count too soon.
and too late. She stood up twice. First and last. Really
I mean,
impressive.
the second time was because Rasheen honestly was like, "No, I'm already done. It's over. It's over. I don't even care
But
about
it's
standing
about
up."
the principle of it, first and last, you know? That's very
Yeah.
an impressive maneuver.
Mm-hmm. Impressive.
Yes. And I also think we should have had some, goal line photoing because Tim and Ramesh stands up at the same time. This is where I want a slow motion camera, you know?
But it's easy to see live just in the normal speed. There's like, it's definitely Tim just copying what Ramesh did.
Yeah, but then Ramesh would get 3 points if Ramesh gets up first. Or the other way around, I'm not fully sure actually.
Well, Ramesh went up first, so 4 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Which
both got
completely
4 points.
Yes, because it's a tie, because it's funny.
Yeah, also because it wasn't material, because Tim didn't tie in the top tie anyways.
Well, it's material if Ramesh gets 3 points instead. Because we have a tiebreaker again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how, but it's one of life's great questions, you know. How old is Frank Skinner?
I love how bad they both were at
They
it.
were nowhere near. So just for the record,
No.
the correct answer is 30,505,028 minutes.
And they both guessed in like the 100,000.
Ramesh with 1,550,000. Just with 200,000 because this it's probably higher, you know, which is a pretty logical assumption.
And Ramesh was done so dirty there, where Josh just goes, "Why don't they go first?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "That was it. That
But
was
for fuck's
literally
sake,
it."
Ramesh, here's what comes back to this whole being a math teacher thing. Ramesh, math teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Ramesh, think.
Yeah, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. That's 3,600 seconds in an hour, 24 hours a day. That is around like 72, 70 plus another 4. That's around 84,000. 84. Yeah, 84,000 seconds in a day by 365. So let's just do 360, which
No, because
is.
if you remove those 5 days from the calendar, the whole
Oh,
math
we'll get
goes
them back
off.
in a second. We just gotta do the 360 first so we can get the 5 afterwards.
Okay, sure.
Anyways, the 360 first is 21 with a 6 is 22 8 with a 60 afterwards is 36. So we're looking, and we're also doing guesstimations at this point. So we're looking at 300,000 seconds a year ballpark. And then you go that by 50, be like, okay, like we're in the millions then.
It's actually worse than that. Because you have to account for leap years.
You're right.
I know I'm right. And here where it gets even worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? I think it's every 200 every 200 year, the leap year doesn't happen.
What?
Yeah, no, right. So the year is a year is 300. There's a fucking bug on my fucking mouse. 1 second. Go away, bug. Go out of my desk. Away from my desk. Terribly sorry about that. Something was crawling on my desk. Where was I? A year is 365.24 days, not 2524.
Mm-hmm.
So every 4 years you add a day. But every 20 leap years, you don't have a leap year because it's 2.24 days, not 0.25 days.
Oh, it's worse. It's every 4 years, but not every 100 years, unless that is divisible by 400.
Which means 2000 would be a leap year then.
Yes.
As it's divisible by 400.
Mm-hmm.
I hate math. I mean, I would just have guessed, you know? I would just have guessed.
Yep.
But I hate leap years. And I also hate leap seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And even worse, and I'm just saying this because we're recording this in those 3 weeks a year where Beo's time zone has switched and mine hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Beo has daylight savings time. My daylight savings kicks in 4 hours from now. Make of that what you want. Which also
Whoa.
begs the question, what if Frank Skinner had been born in a different time zone?
True.
Because then you have to add an hour or retract an hour. Where is Frank Skinner born? Like, if you're like born fucking India or something, you know, that would be horrifying. Oh, he's born in West Bromwich, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I don't think it actually matters either if he's born in 2 different time zones.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it'll be off by a few hours, but not by like more than a day.
But still, if you want to get exact about it, which I don't know why we want to be exact about it.
True. But have you taken into account the spatial relativity that Frank Skinner experiences when taking airplanes?
My head hurts.
Uh-huh. Have you also considered that people living on mountains experience less time than people living on the coast?
I live on the coast.
Oh, you experience the most time of anyone you know.
You know what? I'm getting I'm thinking about, you know, becoming a child carer instead of, you know, anything else. You know, just dealing with 4-year-olds sounds more pleasant right now than dealing with time.
You're welcome.
Just you completely killed my mood, mate. Completely just math all over the place.
Everywhere, all at once.
Maybe we should just summarize at this point, if I
Mhm.
may. Jez Whittaker, which is not spelled Whittaker, or pronounced Whittaker probably, wins by tiebreaker against Jonathan Ramesh Ranganathan. Yes, his name is still Jonathan. And also some other people take part in the show, and Rasheen gets 9 points. You know, if we analyze this as a TV show, right? It's a pretty weak episode. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, pretty weak.
And which brings it to a weird point, because the next episode is probably the greatest episode of the season.
Well, it's always darkest before the dawn.
That is technically not true, and you know it.
Correct. The poetry. We are the poet and the egg.
How can we be two things at once? Can an egg be in... No, Jasper, no, stop. Stop, Jasper. Just stop. Just stop.
It's simpler. One of us is the poet and the other one is the egg.
Well, you're egg-shaped, so...
Yeah, that's true. That answers that.
I mean, for the people who do not have the advantage of looking at Beo right now, he's egg-shaped. There are no two ways about it. He has the head and the hair of a Playmobil character.
Oh, I am stung by that.
I know you're stung by that. That's why I keep saying it. Because it's true.
Yeah.
I should probably... We should probably summarize who's leading the season, but I have no clue. It's probably Jonathan. It's probably Jonathan. Josh.
Jonathan.
Sorry. Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
It's close though, isn't it? It's close.
Didn't Josh already win twice so far?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's close at all then.
Well, it will be close. Josh has won 2 episodes in a row, so... No, he hasn't, because we haven't recorded episode 4 yet. Spoilers!
Spoiled.
Don't worry, it gets worse. The spoilers get worse in the next... Gets worse in the next episode. Sorry, I don't English. I think it's that bug that crawled across my mouse mat. It completely fucked me up.
Oh, yeah.
It's bug season again.
Ugh.
I don't like bugs.
You don't?
You're an insect, not a bug. Shut up.
Aw.
Don't give me those puppy eyes. Not now, man. Not now.
Done now? Okay, I'll give them to you later.
Please don't. Should we just wrap this up before, before we start talking about philosophy again?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Just Whitaker has won an episode. I've been Jasper, that's been Bayo. Do you have any
Heyo.
final dramatic words other than heyo?
If I die, cremate me.
And if I die, don't eat me.
I can't promise you that.
He'll make no promises, and this has been yet another episode of Snazzmaster. And we'll see you next time. Yes,
Bye.
yes, bye.